in a row that I would be doing a January book tag. Yes, it's still happening this year, even though it's a little late. Hopefully this will be uploaded by January 31st. You guys know the drill. My good friend Jan from JAN-UARY created, I feel weird saying that, my friend JAN-UARY, who has a channel. My friend JAN-UARY created a January book tag, and it's basically just like a recap of last year, what went on, and what are you excited about for the new year. And I think it's such a good idea, and it's going to be such a timeless tag that I wrote in my notes this time all the questions and all my answers. So the first question is, what was the last and first, if you remember, book you read last year? So the last book that I read last year was Scream for Us. I'll pop it right here. That one was completely out of my comfort zone, but I still enjoyed myself. And the first book that I read last year was The Midnight Library, and it was average. I gave it like a 3-star. I wanted more from it, but ultimately it just fell flat. Second question, what is your first read this year? My first read this year is Fourth Wing. I made a whole reading vlog reading it, so if you're curious, I'm plugging myself shamelessly, but I have a whole reading vlog dedicated to reading Fourth Wing, where I try to guess what Fourth Wing is about based on Spotify playlists that were made about Fourth Wing. So I think it's an interesting concept and a little different take of a reading vlog, so if you want to check that out, I will link it in the cards, whichever way it is. Yeah, good time. Share 3 of your reading goals this year. So my first reading goal is to make time for reading. Last year I ultimately did not make any time for reading. I just read whenever I could, whenever I had free time, but I never made the time to read, so I want to make that a priority this year. The second one is read outside my comfort zone. I feel like this has been in all my January book tags, and I think it will continue to be. This year I've been reading more fantasy. This year I've been reading more fantasy, and I've been having so much fun. Coming from a girl who said that, shoot, I always wanted to read fantasy and I just never understood it, but I think I overhyped it in my head. So yeah, so continue to do that. Read outside my comfort zone. I think it's just more fun, and I end up falling in love with reading like I'm doing so. And then my Goodreads reading goal for the year is 15 books. If you guys don't know, I always add 1 book more than what I read. So last year I read 14 books, so this year I want to read 15. Do I think I will pass that? Most likely. I've been on a really good reading track so far this year, and have been reading every day, which is nice. I haven't done that in a while. I think it will happen. So number 4, share 3 of your most anticipated titles. Now I had to do some little research because, you know, I'd never know, but from what I gathered, here are a couple. I think I did more than 3. Because they're not like my most anticipated, but they're like what I'm excited for. Because I don't usually look them up ahead of time, but here we go. Funny Story by Emily Henry. The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. Those are my 4 anticipated. Oh, there's one more. Sorry. 5. The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. Those are the ones I'm looking forward to reading this year. Number 5, which goals did you reach / not reach last year? So last year my Goodreads goal was to read 41 books. That unfortunately did not happen, but it's okay, we still read. But I think I did a good job of like reading outside my comfort zone. I read some spicy books, and I read a little bit of fantasy, and I'm continuing that this year. Listen, honestly, I'm just glad that I read anything last year. The way that I was going, I read more than like some people that I know, so listen, that's all that matters. Are there new releases this year you heard of that you have no desire to read? Honestly, I know, like I feel like I say this speech every time I get to this question. I never want to say like I do not want to read this book unless like the author is super problematic. But for the most part, I will give anything a shot. I don't usually have an answer for this, and it obviously continues, but yeah, that's my whole spiel on that one. What are some reading habits you want to change this year, if any? So I always want to make time for reading, like I said, for my goals. I have been doing, in my head, it's not like a hard goal, but I've been trying to read 100 pages a day just because I feel like I finish books quicker this way. And it forces me to read, to know like, hey, you gotta read those 100 pages. You should probably start reading if I haven't picked up anything, because again, like I said, I want to make time for reading. So it's not like a hard goal. Like, I'm not super upset with myself if I don't reach 100 pages a day, as long as I get some pages in, you know, like, so at least like read daily, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. It's not a hard, like, stern goal to read 100 pages a day, but it's definitely like in the back of my mind, like, hey, did you get the 100 pages? And I have been keeping track of the pages that I read this year. I got a new like digital book planner thing, and it's very helpful of keeping track of things. So hopefully I stick with it, because I am notorious for ditching all my planners. I'm not consistent in anything in my life, so here's to trying. Are there any adaptations you're excited about? So I did have to do Google search on this, and the only thing that I can think of, and I haven't even read the book, but because Miss Blake Lively is going to be in the It Ends With Us movie. Now, will I read the book? I don't know. Maybe, possibly. It's a maybe. It's a hard maybe. I don't know if I'll like it or not, but because of Blake Lively, I want to watch that movie. So that's my answer. It Ends With Us. Favorite bookish memory of last year? Honestly, there wasn't much. I guess I was excited that I read a big book. The Old Roads Lead Here. Where's that at? I just saw it. Oh, here it is. I read this book. It took me a while, but it's pretty it's like a chonker of a book. 500 plus pages, and it's outside my comfort zone because it's huge. So yeah, I'm proud of myself for reading that, actually. So yeah, I'll say that. I'll say that. Any carryovers from last year that you still plan on finishing? The only carryover I had was Fourth Wing, and I finished that. That is all of the questions. Normally I usually do this super late, and everyone that I know that does this has already done it. If you just stumbled upon this video and you want to do it, by all means, you are tagged by me. You can say that I tag you to do the January book tag, okay? Okay. So with that being said, thank y'all so much for watching. If you liked this video and enjoyed me as a person, definitely don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video. And with that being said, I will see you in my next video. Bye.